Linda Morse, M-O-R-S-E. I was actually going to wait to do this under public comments, but since you're talking about policies for employees, I'd like to know when y'all stop doing background checks on employees that you hire. I think that there's a problem that could have been avoided if you had done a background check on Mr. Walters, who was a convicted felon and spent 3 years in prison. So I'm just curious as to when you stopped doing that. And I also know that prior to the sheriff taking over Walton County Fire Rescue, background checks were not done on fire personnel or EMTs. You know, these people come into our homes when we're at our most vulnerable. And the fact that you're not doing background checks on these guys, and then later our houses get robbed or whatever happens, something's wrong.
Are you finished?
Are you going to answer me?
No. Are you finished?
I ask a question. I'd like an answer. When did you stop doing background checks on potential hires?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'm not aware that we've stopped that, but we'd be glad to look and see if, make sure we are continuing in accordance with the policy.
Well, if you did a background check on Mr. Walters, you would have known that he was a convicted felon, and you wouldn't have hired him. So obviously there wasn't a background check done.
Okay.
How many others are going to fall through the cracks?
And anyone else?
Yes. Larry, I would like for you, because I think that's a tough thing here. Is it in our policy that we don't hire someone that's been in jail?
I'll review that and get back with you.
Because to me, and I'll use this for example, I've just spent the last week working with prisoners. Oh, thank you. I know they have done something wrong, but when they get out of jail, if they can't get a job, then they're going to be right back in jail. So to me, it's kind of like, how do we help these people so that they don't go back into jail, but then protect the public at the same time? I think that's maybe a broader question, because I mean, I'll swear to you, every man I worked with this past week, they were polite, they were respectful, they did their job, they went out of the way to help. Of course, they're on the release program, so we know that they're the cream of the crop, if you know what I'm saying. But if they don't get some way to support their family, then they're going to be back right where they are now. So I'd love to know how we make all that work, and maybe a discussion with the Sheriff's Department or something, but
And in our defense, Ms. Morse, I actually went through the budget, our most recent budget, and I did actually see 4 background checks that were charged to one of our accounts. I just happened to buzz through and did see the word background check. So who's doing them, I'm not exactly sure. It's just not something I thought about, but I did see background checks in our budget.
Ms. Morris, if you want to speak,
Sure,
you have to come to the podium.
So I'm just saying, like I said, I just happened to see background checks in 4 of them.
And I appreciate that. I really do. The problem is convicted felons, and convicted of robbery. And then he steals from the county. Actually, he stole from the taxpayers. That's a problem.
And to reiterate what Commissioner Commander said, that was very good. The sheriff has a wonderful program to rehabilitate the prisoners. And, I understand what Ms. Morris is saying, but you know what? There is a second chance, and there's grace. So some people, when they get in prison, they realize that they want to do better, and I think they should be afforded the opportunity. I'm not saying with us, but somewhere in this world there's jobs. So